हरि
जय गोपी जन
वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी
यशोदनन्दन व्रजचनरञ्जन
यशोदानन्दन व्रजजनरञ्जन
जमुनतीरावनचारी
यमुना तीरा
वनचारी
जय राधा माधव कुञ्जविहारी
जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी
जय गोपीजनवल्लभ गिरिवरधारी
जय गोपी जन बल्लभ गिरिवरधारी
यशोदनन्दन व्रजजनरञ्जन
यशोदनन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन
यमुनतीरावनचारी
जमुनातीरावनचारी
हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे
हरे
हरे
कृष्ण
कृष्ण
हरे
कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे हरे
हरे
राम
राम
हरे
हरे
राम राम
राम
राम
राम
हरे
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 जय प्रभुपद जय प्रभुपद प्रभुपद श्रील प्रभुपद
जय प्रभु
प्रभुपद
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 श्रील प्रभुपद
निताय गौर हरि बोल निताय गौर हरि बोल
निताय
जय
गौर
गौर
हरि
हरि बोल
हरि
हरि बोल निताय
गौर
गौर हरि बोल
श्रीमद् भागवत महापुराण की जय
जय
श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय श्रील
जय
प्रभुपाद की जय
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 ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय
ओम
ओम
नमो
नमो
भगवते
भगवते
वासुदेवाय
वासुदेवाय
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय
ओम नमो
ओम नमो
भगवते
भगवते
वासुदेवाय
वासुदेवाय
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय
ओम
ओम नमो
नमो
भगवते
भगवते
वासुदेवाय
वासुदेवाय
नारायणं नमस्कृत्यां
नारायणं
नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं
नमस्कृतं
नरं चैव नरोत्तमं
नरं
नरं
चैव
चैव
नरोत्तमं
नरोत्तमं
देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं
देवीं
देवीं
सरस्वतीं
सरस्वतीं
व्यासं
ततो
व्यासं
जयमुदीरहेत्
ततो
ततो
जयमुदीरये
जयमुदीरयेत्
अष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु
नष्टप्रायेषु
नष्टप्रायस्वभद्रेषु
अभद्रेषु
नित्यं भागवतसेवया
नित्यं
नित्यं भागवत
भागवतसेवया
भगवती उत्तमा श्लोके
भगवती
भगवते
भगवती उत्तम श्लोके
उत्तमश्लोके
भवति नैष्टिकी.
भक्तिर्भवति
भक्तिर्भवति
नैष्ठिकी
नैष्टिकी
Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, chapter number 7, text number 44, Saharasya Saharahasya Dhanurvedaha Sa Visargo Upamshamaya Astragrama Cha Bhave Sikshito Yat Anugrahat Saharasya Dhanurvedo Sa Visargopi Samaya Astragrama Cha Bhavata Sikshato Yad Anugrahat. Translation purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Translation: It was by Dronacharya's mercy that you learned the military art of throwing arrows and the confidential art of controlling the weapons. Purport: Dhanurveda or military science was taught by Dronacharya with all its confidential secrets of throwing and controlling by Vedic hands. Gross material science is dependent on material weapons. But finer than that is the art of throwing the arrows saturated with Vedic hymns, which acts more effectively than gross material weapons like the machine guns and atomic bombs. The control is by the Vedic mantras or the transcendental signs of the sound. It is said in the Ramayana that Maharaja Dasharatha, the father of Lord Sri Rama, used to control arrows by sound only. He could pierce his target with his arrows by only hearing the sound, without seeing the object. So this is a finer military science than that of the gross material military weapons used nowadays. Arjuna was taught all this, and therefore Draupadi wished that Arjuna feel obliged to Acharya Drona for all these benefits. In the absence of Dronacharya, his son was his representative. That was the opinion of the good lady Draupadi. It may be argued why Dronacharya, a rigid Brahmana, should be a teacher in military science, but the reply is that a Brahmana should become a teacher regardless of what his department of knowledge is. A learned Brahmana should become a teacher, a priest, a recipient of charity. A bona fide Brahmana is authorized to accept such professions. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Chakshurunmritamena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sthapitamena Bhutale Swayam Rupagadamyam Dadati Swarpadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutapadakamanam Shri Guru Mahishamamsta Shri Rupam Sakrajatam Sagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sagana Lalita Shri Vishnakanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namaste तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिय वंशकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यः वच पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासदि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे नमः ओम विष्णुपदाय कृष्ण प्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रसारणे विशेष शून्योदिभाषते देशतारणे मुखां करोति वाचालं पंगोलंगायतगिरिं यत्कृपातं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्य ईश्वरं नीलाचलनिवासाय नित्याय परमात्मने बलभद्रसुपुत्राभ्यां जगन्नाथाय ते नमः ओम तत्सत् Granth Srimad Bhagavatam, 1st Canto, 7th chapter, text number 44. It was by Dronacharya's mercy that you learned the military art of throwing arrows and confidential art of controlling weapons. Thank you all for joining the Sunday morning program. Today is a very, very auspicious day, Pratipad. And today is also the installation ceremony, which is called Shilanyas of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur at Bir Nagar, which is almost like 45 kilometers from Sridham Mayapur. There is an installation ceremony going on. They're going to build a beautiful temple for Bhaktivinoda Thakur on the birthplace of Bhaktivinoda Thakur. So we are here to enhance our true connection to the Supreme Personality of Godhead Sri Krishna and to Srila Prabhupada and seek their blessings to progress in our lives and enliven our spiritual journey. That's why we connect ourselves with Srimad Bhagavatam. Nigama Galpatharu Karitam Phalam. This is the most ripened fruit of the entire cosmic creation and its own literatures or the Vedas. This verse is a bit like a movie trailer. We will practically see that where you are going to be given a chance to know how the future aspect of the entire movie or entire Srimad Bhagavatam is actually going to take you through the next 1 hour or so. You know, imagine yourself in a theater and you're going to actually get a sudden glimpse of a new movie which is going to come up. You're already going to be watching another movie, but again, in between, they're going to show you a trailer. So this trailer is also not just going to show something stupid. It's going to give you a pure glimpse of fully drowned with pure respect for Sri Guru, who taught the science of military art and the skills that which is made Arjuna what he is today and what he is known for in the future. This is not something very, very common verse, common information, common detail. That is why Srimad Bhagavatam is the ripened fruit of the Vedic literatures. It gives you so much of depth of realization, so much of depth of need to understand the pretext of what the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna wants us to know. Here, Draupadi is very, very evidently being mentioned by Srila Prabhupada in the purport that she's a very soft-hearted lady. Even though she was tormented, she has been tormented many times. She was been made to be born out of fire, was humiliated many, many times by the Kurus, the Kauravas basically in particular. She still did not show any kind of remorse to respect Dronacharya's contribution to her husband's and her family status quo and the day. It is not a common practice. The women of yonder years, they had solid resilience. Their, their power of presence, their power of thought process, power of their existence is only to promote others' benefit much more than their own. We have practically seen, maybe in our own family lives, in our own parents or in our grandparents' life, we can see that kind of a deep understanding, the thought process, the practice, the understanding, the clear view, the practical advantage, which they all showed in their own. You would have probably seen even in our own lives, our mothers would have actually been parenting us single-handedly, bringing us what we are at this point of time and making us stand on our own legs. How much grittiness Shivaji Maharaj, for that example, in the Indian historical practice, that Shivaji Maharaj's mother was the one who actually chiseled, characterized Shivaji Maharaj, how he is going to be. So here, Dronacharya is a Brahmana by birth, but he is a teacher who has taken a respectable position as the teacher of military science to the entire Kuru dynasty. Draupadi, being very soft-hearted, she is completely, even though she is tormented many times, she is just openly, gladly saying that to Arjuna, it was because of Dronacharya's mercy that you learned the military art of throwing the weapons, the art of throwing the arrows, and the confidential art of controlling the arrows and the weapons. It's not so easy. So you must be obliged. Prabhupada explains that the gross military science is completely dependent on material weapons, but finer than that is the art of throwing the weapons saturated with Vedic hymns, which acts more effectively than the gross material weapons, which are unknown to this world, and the science is already lost. We could hear that only for a few instances in the history that these kind of practice are being done by great expert warriors. And here in Ramayana, Prabhupada explains that Maharaja Dashrath, the father of Lord Sri Rama, he could just hit the target just by hearing the sound. This is called Shabda Vedi, right? Just by hearing the sound. Just by hearing the sound, hearing. So how sharp his ears, the senses of hearing must be, Dashrath Maharaj's senses. How much he must have practiced, right? In fact, this is not common. It was just that he could make a differentiation stating himself somewhere near to the water hole. He can make the differentiation, whether it is a tiger which is drinking water or an elephant which is drinking water, even though, of course, he made a mistake by actually thinking that it was an elephant which was drinking water just by the noise of the water being taken out, and he killed a Brahmana boy, Shravan Kumar. That's a different story altogether that we'll discuss probably sometime else. But here is someone who could actually practice this, follow the constitutional practice of secretly managing the weaponry art of military science just by only hearing or just by only meditating on few words or few hymns. Arjuna also practiced this. He was practicing almost like 18 to 20 hours a day. It so happened one day that they were all having their dinner and suddenly the light went off. Once the light went off, that everyone just stopped. This happened in the Gurukul, in the Gurukul of Dronacharya, which is in Gurugram, near to Delhi. Right? Everyone stopped eating until the light came back. Arjuna continued to eat. Dronacharya saw this and told that don't give Arjuna any food when there is no light. But in the mind of Arjuna, he could sense that if I can eat the food in the dark, why not practice the archery in the dark so that I am ready for it? So he started practicing in the dark. And in that practice came to solid use in the Kurukshetra war. on the 11th and 12th day, where the complete fight was not in the day, but it was in the night to support Gadotkaja. Nowadays, we see weapons are made only for the livelihood of nations, right? They have huge, huge factories just only churning out different types of weapons. We can see that there is a place in South India which is called Shivakasi. There they produce all kinds of, not weapons. They produce all kinds of Diwali weapons like rocket, electric crackers, atom bomb, dynamite. They give big names for it, but it is all nothing but just only, you hit on the wall, it bursts and it gives a sound, those kind of things. So, but here, Arjuna was so much contemplating on it, and here is the current situation where there are so many countries, you know whom I am talking about, right? They only instigate the war in third world countries, supply them with lot of all these kind of weapons, make the country bankrupt and completely dependent onto them for their livelihood. Now it is more like a raw power used from these kind of computerized domes or electronically controlled gadgets or through some LED gadgets. Nevertheless, these are on material sciences. We don't have to go into so much deeper understanding. But the most important detail in this verse is that Draupadi was a very good lady. She had such a brilliant thought process. Her realizations were extraordinary. She said that oblige yourself to your spiritual master, the master who has given you the science of this military weapons usage, because of which you are what you are at this point of time. Everyone knows the best archer in the world is Arjuna. How did it happen so? So Draupadi wanted and she wished that Arjuna feels obliged to all these benefits. And she thought and considered that Ashwatthama was Dronacharya's son. But in the absence of Dronacharya, he becomes his representative, and he doesn't want, she did not want that Ashwatthama's mother suffer the same amount of suffering she is going through by this very inauspicious way of killing the children. These kind of qualities actually don't come so easily. It gets reflected in persons who have acquired these qualities like the Devatas have, right? Yasya bhaktir bhagavat kinchana gunashatrair samasta suraha harava bhakatasya kuto mahat guna manoratena sa davato baihi. All these demigods are not just simply demigods. We should completely respect them. They have got finer qualities. Prabhupada explained, there are only two variations. There are two types of living entities. One is demons, another one is devotees or devas. Why? Because those who follow the tenets of the Shastras, those who follow the qualities of what the Supreme Lord wants them to follow, they become the devas. They all come from the same parentage, right? From either from Diti or from Aditi and Kashyapa Rishi. All the demigods and their exalted qualities become manifest in a person's body, one who can actually contemplate and develop unalloyed devotion to the Supreme Personality of Godhead Sri Krishna, Vasudeva, Bhagavad Bhakti. So, on the other hand, person who is not bothered about what is devotion service, engage in some kind of material activities, more of material activities, and not bothered to build up good qualities, they are indebtedly going to practice all kind of nonsensical practice or aghora or very raw. So there is no honest endeavor of maintaining or practicing Krishna conscious livelihood. So they are only driven by the thought that it is me, mine, and mine's. So they'll have the family, it's for the family, there's for them, they'll do, but not for others. It's more of mental speculation, and they don't endeavor to engage in the internal potency of the Supreme Lord. They are more interested in the external energy of the Lord. So how can there be any good quality in a man? Ashwatthama was born. See the difference so sharply here. You can very clearly see the difference, right? Oh, Prabhupada is so clearly explaining the difference. That's the Ashwatthama born in a Brahmin family, Brahmin father from an exalted lineage, but his acts does not reflect On the other hand, Draupadi, a mother of 5, who are being slain mercilessly, showing complete compassion, respectability to the core, 100% respect, reluctance to punish, and also further to that, she is informing Arjuna, her husband, to pardon this person because he is Arjuna's guru's son. What a scenario to be in. Watch. How do you feel this kind of movie? You can really see that coming out of blue. Even in this age, if you follow this, we can actually acquire finer qualities. Prabhupada explains this very beautifully in many, many places. Nectar of Devotion explains this. There are 5 important aspects of a devotional person's daily routine, right? You are entitled to practice this. So many examples in the history of Krishna consciousness that devotees who have got all these qualities are simply by sadhusanga, nama sankirtanam, or chanting the holy name of Krishna, Bhagavad Sravana, hearing to the holy names, hearing to Srimad Bhagavatam, Srimad Bhagavad Gita, Chaitanya Charitamrita, Mathura Vas, staying in a place like Mathura, Vrindavan, Sridham Mayapur, Jagannath Puri, or making your place fit enough to accommodate in that kind of environment, right? Sri Murti Seva, this is also important, right? These 5 aspects are the best of the all items of devotion service one can achieve. Pure love of Sri Krishna. Who doesn't want it? Lord Chaitanya has just given a sugar-coated pill. He has just introduced these things into the world of householders. We are all householders, grihasthas. And what are we doing? We are just doing as much as we can. We are not even completely following every aspect of all these practices of Krishna consciousness. Very, very tiny, tiny bits and bobs what we are doing. But by just following little of these things, Prabhupada actually gives a lecture in London. He says that how can one become, as a grihastha, become to the level of Paramahamsa, right? Because we follow the perfect, we can achieve the perfection also. Seeking that as the epitome of our human life. Human life is so very, very rare. Hari Hari Bifale Janama Gona Hoy, Manusha Janma Paya, Radha Krishna Na Bhajiya, Janiya Suniya Vishay Khaino. And knowingly or unknowingly, I am, instead of serving Radha and Krishna, I am just enjoying myself, thinking that this world is going to be there for me forever. The day when we realize that, okay, this is not the place where I am supposed to be, it's not that everything is rosy and choosy and juicy. It is completely bereft of the Supreme Personality of Godhead's pure blessings. Then we will start changing our way of looking at things. Right? It's very rarely achieved. Human form itself is very rarely achieved. On top of it, to become a devotee or to be a devotee or to attempt to be or try to be someone who is trying to be a devotee, that's amazing. It's not easy at all unless we are with the devotees. That is why Sadhu Sangha is so much important. So we need to take our devotional service, devotional practice, devotional lifestyle. We should not take it for granted. Right? Krishna is Atma Ramasya Muniyo. He can just be, he's completely independent. He can always withdraw. He can simply say that, okay, because devotional service is his copyright. He wants it. And he's been giving us all an individual licensing node. Right? He is giving everyone licenses and he is giving individually licenses. Okay, you do some devotional service. But he can just decide, he can remove the license. Moment we start offending the devotees, start offending the Vaishnavas or senior devotees, easily our love for devotional service will just simply become dry in few moments. Not years, just moments. That's enough for us to go back to the material pool again. Punarapi jananam, punarapi maranam, punarapi jatare shayanam. This is what Shankaracharya says. You're back to the square one. Then as usual, you get into the material cycle. Right? Birth, death, old age, disease, karma, external energy. They take the precedence and the governance. Then we are in deep trouble again. Now, because we are practicing, we are chanting Hare Krishna, we are chanting and we are trying to follow the 4 regulative principles. We are actually with the devotees. We are taking Krishna Prasadam. We are chanting the holy names of Krishna. We are studying Srimad Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, and Chaitanya Charitamrita. We are protected. There is a kavacha. But moment we think or choose to not do any of this or some of this, we have to show an intent. Krishna watches. He is in the heart of every living entity. Sarva Sachaham Vriddhi Sannivishto. He is watching. We will not even come to the realization. We have to realize. Immediately, in a moment's time, we will get back to the material pool. And we get back to the material pool, it may take us few million lifetimes, by which 10,000 years of Lord Chaitanya's golden period is over. And it's going to be Gora Kali Yuga. Do we all want that? Seriously, I don't want it. And I pray that no one in this room doesn't want it. If so, you all want, any one of you want, all the best. But if not, then get serious. Get serious about everything you do in devotional service. Authentically. Verify it by the spiritual master. Take the shelter of the spiritual master. There is no other choice. And we don't have a choice. Why will we have to come back to this world? Tat damam paramam mama. Right? Krishna is trying to tell us that you come back to my place, you don't need to come back. Right? This is very important for us. Always remember. We should always remember this. This is not going to be so easy. Lord Chaitanya is giving us this kind of a beautiful sugar-coated pill. You just have to put it and then drink some water and that's it. Chant the holy name means just follow it. Why should we be not bothered not to chant? Why are we not convinced? Where is it lacking? There must be something which is holding us back. We may say that, yes, Prabhu, I am doing everything, Prabhu. No, that's not. If it's being done by you or done by me, my love for Krishna should be multiplied by 1,000 times. And automatically, all activities I'm going to perform or will perform or shall perform is going to be in a very pure goodness level. And you can see that there is no glimpse of goodness in something which is not nearby to passion and ignorance. This is very evident. We see that some devotees, Prabhu, oh, that devotee did not come, Prabhu, this devotee did not do this, Prabhu, that's why I had to do this. You keep trying to come. I'm not saying it's wrong. These are situational. But when we practice, we should not allow anyone to come to the spacing level. Because Lord Chaitanya's message is so powerful that if you get spaced out now, no one is going to come and help you out. We need to know the importance and very, very needed thing. You can do your devotional service individually, but that's not enough. Prabhupada expects us to do teamwork. When you are in the team, you are in the dream. If you are not in the team, you are in a phantasmagoria. Akasha Pushpa. You are thinking that that's my life, that's my world, I can do what I want. That is devotional service. No, it won't happen that way. Because you see here an example of an exalted lady, a Mataji. What an example. There are hundreds and hundreds of wonderful Matajis who are shown shimmering examples of how a Grihastha should actually act, a Grihastha should actually manage, and a Grihastha should actually be a part of the family's shining light. Draupadi is the one. The entire Kurukshetra war happened only for her. And you can see the fact that how much compassionate she is. That's the heart of a mother. She doesn't want Ashwatthama's mother to suffer as much as she is suffering. In the same way here, Prabhupada explains this. How we can come to the level of Paramahamsas, even being as a devotee of the Lord, even being a Grihastha in our own ashrama. This is very, very, very important for all of us. Bhagavatam is not for some mass producers. You will not see in Srimad Bhagavatam class some 200 people sitting in the Bhagavatam class. Of course, when there is a festival, they will. But when it comes to a class like Zoom or anyone else here, very rarely you will get many people. Why? Because this is Zaveri market. diamond market. How many people are going to come here? Everyone cannot understand this because the love for Krishna is itself is a chance for us because we have got a human life and we are trying to be a devotee. So grab it with two hands. This is our last calling stop. If every one of us in this room is convinced, you will bring two people with you now for the next class. Those two people will bring another two people to the next class. They will get benefited. What does Lord Chaitanya say? He says that I'm only a single gardener. I need a lot of support and help. I need this. Who else, if not for Lord Chaitanya, can give us such an easy method, easy way of deliverance? No one else. I can't contemplate of anyone in the history of entire Gaudiya Sampradaya, nor in the entire cosmic manifestation. Namo Mahamadanya Krishna Prema Pradayate. Krishna and Krishna Chaitanya Namane Gaur Vishay Namaha. This is the way in which he has presented it. Always remember this. Charity always begins at home. Charity is always the mode of goodness to the right source. Never do things whimsically. These are the things which you need to be taken into granted. Don't take it for granted. These are given to you by the costly grace of the Supreme Lord through the Supreme Lord's personal representative, the spiritual masters, and they are guiding us. So our human form of life itself is a bhiksha. Beggars can't be choosers. This is a bhiksha. It's been given to us. We go, no, we take a begging bowl and go and stand in front of a mother and say, Bhavati Bhikshan Dehi. Or go in front of a Prabhu and say, Bhavan Bhikshan Dehi. This bhiksha has been given to us because we are in a rented place. Anytime the owner will say, okay, mate, it's time up. Get out. Pay me, get going. I'm not going to renew your licensing. It is possible, right? Even though Draupadi had 5 children, was she able to control that the children can be escaped out of the death? She didn't have any control. Arjuna, the most superlative number 1 archer in the world, could he do? He couldn't do. Krishna was just in front of them. Krishna is this Surdam Sarvabhutanam, right? Krishna is the ever well-wisher for the Pandavas. Even Krishna knew about this, but he did not do anything. That's life in store for us. So this Bhiksha is coming our way in a very smooth manner. By Srila Prabhupada's grace, this particular platform we have, let's all try to utilize to the 100% level, not 1%, 10%, 50%, 90%, 100% level. We are having a wonderful, we are all here as an example to our children. We are all here to give a solid foundation to our children. Our children is our future. They are the ones who are going to guide us. They are the ones who are going to take this moment of Srila Prabhupada, Lord Chaitanya's message to the bigger mass of people. I'm very confident and I'm very convinced that all our children have the potential, if they are guided properly, that they will be able to do that. But the role is not on the children at this moment, but on the parents now. And we need to show that exemplary examples to the society, to the people, to the circle of influence which we have at this point of time in our own zones. Whether you are in Reading or whether you are in Swindon or whether you are in Manchester, any place you are, it doesn't matter. We have to show that case of finer intelligence to promote Lord Chaitanya's message to Prithvi Ache Agar Nagaradikam Sarvatra Hobe Mera Mora Naam. It should go into each and every town and village. Lord Chaitanya has already sown the seed of bhakti to all these places. We are just going to be a tiny infinitesimal instrument. Nimitta matram bhavasavya sachin. This is what we noted, right? This is the message which is very clearly being given by Srila Prabhupada here in this purport. And one last element which Prabhupada explains is brilliantly that the Brahmana should become a teacher. It may be argued why Dronacharya, a rigid Brahmana, should teach military science. The reply is that Brahmana should become a teacher regardless of which department of knowledge it is. A learned Brahmana should become a teacher, priest, and a recipient of a charity. Spiritual master is also a recipient of charity. He is the right personality. Siksha and Diksha Gurus. A bona fide spiritual master is authorized to accept such a profession. This is very important for all of us. Right? Each and every one of you are a teacher. I don't see anyone else apart from you as a teacher. Because you are all teaching and you are also learning. As a teacher, you can't just be stagnated. You are going to learn it by the process of practice. When you teach someone, you're going to learn 10 times. So that's the key factor, right? So let's do that. Let's attempt it. Trust in Krishna's hands. Let the Lord give us the blessings and let Prabhupada guide us. They are the guiding force for us and we should be in the right path. Okay, I'll stop here. Any questions, comments, reflections? Let's take it.
Thank you, Prabhuji, for the wonderful class as usual. Thank you for taking time. Very nice. The takeaway from this verse.
The takeaway from this class is that you are all going to be solid preachers. The takeaway is that you are all going to chant 16 rounds. You're going to take your spiritual practice to a next level. There is no compromise. Do not continue to thought process of years to become placid. Don't take things for granted. Anything can just fall in few moments' time. See, there is an earthquake which happened in a place called Burma, very near to India. I was sitting in Mayapur. We could hear the tremor. I was chanting, and then to 2 minutes, I was like, I knew that it's there was one devotee called Narmada Ji, and he called me and said, Prabhu, do you know that there was an earthquake? I said, I know it. What can I do about it? I don't have a choice. So I was sitting and chanting. That's all. Next moment, I may die. Who knows? It's possible. These are realistic aspects, but we don't want to live in a falsehood. So the takeaway for me, for all of you, plus me, is we are going to become serious and we are going to practice without complaining on others. And we are not bothered. We are going to give them a chance. Let them take it up. Everyone should be. If anyone is spaced out, please highlight, show a red flag. I am going to personally go and talk to them. And then I ask them whether they want to become Krishna conscious or not. If they want to become Krishna conscious, I'm here to help. If they don't want to become to Krishna consciousness, I'm going to refer them to a person who will make them Krishna conscious. This is my humble request. I don't want to force, but the truth is this, right?
Yes.
Thank you for your summary, Mataji.
Thank you. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Okay. Bhakti Priya Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dhanavad Pranam.
Pranam.
Prabhuji, you talked about rising from modes of ignorance and passion to goodness, and also helping the children to do that. So two-folded question. One is for the adults of ourselves, specifically myself. Every time we it almost seems like an unending fight, a constant fight against the lower modes. And then at some point you may think, oh, yeah, won over, and then that's it, back down again. So how do we maintain the higher modes? And then second fold, with the children, most of the time they tend to be in passion and ignorance. Just by, I don't know if that's default or not, I guess for us as well. Encouraging them in their spiritual life, and providing the right platform for them so that they can also enjoy Krishna consciousness and flourish. How to manifest that?
Okay. These two are very important, deeper questions. Can't be answered just in one class. It's a class on its own. But the truth is that I can just give you a summary of these two. The first is how to encourage the children who are by default in the mode of passion and ignorance. To be honest with you, it is not so. They are also in the mode of goodness. It is just that at this point of time, they don't know where their thought process are going through. That's why we as parents are the mouthpiece for them. There are a lot of children. I saw them in Mayapur. Even though they were like normal children, like anyone in the city. But I noticed that they do have a lot of high level of mode of goodness in them, probably because they are in the Dham and the Dham itself is helping them. But here we are living in a city environment. Obviously, we are going to interact with people who are more number of hours. We are going to interact with people who are in the mode of ignorance and passion. So that's going to also influence them a lot. But how do we influence them to come to the mode of goodness? First, as parents, we should show the mode of goodness all the time. That itself is a challenge for us, because at this point of time, we are not in that kind of a frame or level at which we can say for sure, okay, I'm 100% mode of goodness. Sometimes it just goes on a sine wave, going down to the mode of passion and ignorance. Sometimes we are in the mode of goodness. We try to maintain it for at least a few days, but then after some time it just drops off, because this material world itself is a place where there is going to be a lot of change by default. So change is inevitable, so we may have to accept it. So how do we deal with these kind of situations? There are three kind of solutions which we can actually attempt to. One attempt of one solution to this aspect of how to keep ourselves in the mode of goodness is, at least in the atmosphere in our own homes, we need to keep things which are more or less like a passion and an ignorance element, like a phone or a TV or anything of scientific gadgets. These are all going to influence, like a computer laptops or something, to a very minimal level. It's not to discard or disobey them, because we are actually getting a lot of benefit by that. But this is to minimize the mode of passion and ignorance. If you just go into the computer and just sit in front of the computer, automatically your hand goes to the web, right? You don't even have to worry about it. Automatically it goes. But how do we control that? When we say control, what do we say? Okay, here, my child, you cannot touch the phones, you cannot touch the iPads, you cannot do this, you cannot do that. But what about you? The child can ask you that question and you will not have an answer. So we need to show the intent first, then they will follow. That's the first thing. Second thing is that prepare yourself that there is 90% of our day is going to be in the passion and ignorance. At least we will give 10% to start with. Let me be in the mode of goodness. And inspire the children also to be in the mode of goodness for 10%, then increase it to 20%. And then by which you are actually going to actually build a group or community of devotees who also want to be in that mode of goodness club, right? Prepare that. It can be your own friend, it can be some Matajis, it can be some Prabhujis, it can be for the general population of our own congregations, right? Activities must be performed in the mode of goodness, which is the highest level. It can be charity, it can be acts, it can be even prasadam, it can be anything. But we have to slowly build it up. Don't build that process of passion and ignorance. You need to be in the passion and ignorance to execute a job, but you need to be in the mode of goodness to oversee the passion and ignorance in place. Otherwise, we will have no clarity of thoughts. We will actually be, ambiguous. We are not sure whether it's right or wrong. This is the second one. The third one is, please push yourself to hear to Srila Prabhupada. That's the superlative mode of goodness all the time. At least attempt to hear for, say, 15 minutes, 10 minutes or 20 minutes, whatever you can, hear to Prabhupada. Prabhupada's lecture brings mode of goodness. Prabhupada's dun brings mode of goodness. Prabhupada's any words comes in the mode of goodness. So you simply give it a chance simply to hear, whether in your phone, in your computer, in your dun tape, or in anything. So if you try to do these three things for a practical experimental procedure of, say, 1 month, that should be enough for you to replicate it for the next 11 months. It is definitely going to work, because habits needs 14 days, if I'm not wrong. If it's 14 days, if you follow the same practice, and it's not going to be difficult for you to continue for the rest of yours. And the only thing is that you should be convinced that I want to be in that 10% goodness element. This is my understanding, and I am attempting that. So that's why I could say what I am attempting is what I could say. I cannot say something a very hypothetical way of, no, you do this, you do that. And that won't work. Like, for example, someone was giving a class the other day. I was just watching, and they were talking about how does a Grihastha families, the devotee was giving a class as a brahmachari. And the question asked was, how does the Grihastha family attempt to be God-centric all the time, all through the day? And this devotee was giving a very theoretical answers. I said, he's not fit, honestly. In my mind, I was thinking, because in my mind, I can say, and it's not offense. I said that this guy doesn't have any experience or exposure to anything. He doesn't even know how the children are going to be in their house. And what is he talking about? Giving a theoretical answers, he is not going to be anywhere. But I can know, because when children are around, that's a different ball game altogether. Mothers know it very well because their energy levels are high and you are restraining them. How will you be able to get the right for without fail that the energy released at the right proportion at the right place? Moment you know it, there you are actually hitting the bullseye. I'm very convinced about it. Let's try for a month and you will probably come back and tell me. I'll probably remember. I put it in my things to do. So please try this. Bring up your own community of devotees and we'll make it a mode of goodness club. Then we'll see what happens. Okay. I don't know whether it's convinced you, but
Yes,
at
sounds
least,
good, Prabhuji. I really like the point of making your house into mode of goodness. It's
yeah, 10%. Don't go beyond 10%. Just 10%. That 10% can be, it can be variation. It can be like reading Ramayana, can be reading Krishna book, it can be hearing to Prabhupada's tapes, it can be cooking prasadam, engaging the children to chop the vegetables or make them to mix something, all that. And in that manner, you put some nice kirtan. That 10% over, forget about it. Next day, 11%. Next day, 12%. Slowly build it up. You will see a change. And the children are very, very quick to absorb. They are like sponges. They'll observe and they will come back and tell us, hey, mom, you did this, you did that yesterday. Why are you changing it today? It looks like it's something wrong somewhere. They can find the reflection. And this is exactly one. For example, there is a 24 hours kirtan in Birmingham. If someone can go there and then engage the children in Krishna conscious kirtans, it's good. Or where there is kirtans, we have anyway on Saturdays kirtans. Engage them, let them hear the holy names, practice some instruments, let them all become serious practitioners. Eventually, they need to run this Krishna conscious movement. They're the future. We are dead and gone. We are already dead and gone. There is no energy level in any of us. We are just living like zombies only for our children's well-being. And we need to bring that best in there as early as possible. I'm sure each one of you are all good parents. So I'm sure that you all accept and agree to what I'm saying. But yes, this is where the key factor of success is. Okay? Yeah.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Just a small one on that. It's also reflecting from yesterday's statements.
Sure.
The children, I don't know what it is, but they find it really difficult to engage in the kirtans when they're there.
Okay, we will give an option. Can they lead a kirtan for 5 minutes? They should lead the kirtan. I don't say simply shouting and chanting Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, not like that. Let's practice them to make a very good, nice kirtaniyas. Then their mind is controlled. They are learning. They should learn an instrument. They should learn a couple of instruments. 4 devotees, 4 childrens. Let's try to do that. I'm happy with that idea.
Sounds good, Prabhuji. If you could have a 5-minute children's slot, then yeah, they might.
Yeah, we can give a children's slot, 5 minutes. Let them try for 5 minutes. Exactly 5 minutes, we'll cut the microphone. First day. Second day, second week, we'll give them 10 minutes. Let them see whether they're good enough for that. Or maybe after a month's time, we'll give them 10-minute slot. When they do that, then we will progress them to a 15-minute slot. If they're doing well, I see that Radhika sings very beautiful. Her voice is really good. And I also see that Gaurangi playing Mridangam. They're kids. I'm sure that even for that matter, many of our kids in Reading also, they are good. It's just that they want to be here and there, run around here and there. If they all put their energy out there, it's nothing like that. Cracking. We want kids like that. You see that Dubai had the Kirtan festival in January. They had given a children's slot. The children were singing, that same children some of the children's, one of the child, she went to Mayapur and she led Kirtan in front of Radha Madhav. The entire devotees who were there, they stopped doing whatever they were doing. They were just listening to the Kirtan, what this girl was singing. Maybe she's around 10 years old or 12 years old. My God, that is phenomenal. To sing in front of Radha Madhav, to even stand in front of Radha Madhav. That's really a recognition. Radha Madhav has recognized that girl. So it's possible. I am confident that all our kids are phenomenal. I have no doubt about it. It's just that we need to channelize their energy, train them up, bring them to that mold, get ready, then they can present nicely for the pleasure of Jagannath, Baldev, Subhadra. Okay?
Amazing. Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Okay, good stuff. Right. Anyone else has any questions? Otherwise, we will. Pratapbhai Prabhu, any announcements? Louis Prabhu is here. I saw Helena Mataji is here. So, any announcements for the?
Hare Krishna. Yeah.
Yes, Krishna, over to you.
Hare Krishna. Yes, thank you. Thanks for a wonderful class. We have today as our first open day at the allotment. So that's a community day at Jagannath's allotment on Basingstoke Road in Spencer's Wood. That's going to be at 12 o'clock, 12 till 3. So if you're coming, please let us know so we can cook lunch accordingly. That's the first open day of the allotment. That's going to be every Sunday moving forward, apart from when we're in Birmingham. So that first May Bank holiday will be in Birmingham on the 3rd and 4th. But other than that, every Sunday at the allotment at noon. So everyone's welcome. Nice family community day, nice prasad, nice association. And
children can touch the earth, Mother Earth. That's good. And the parents also can assist. Maybe.
And then we're back with Kirtan Melas on Saturday. So we're looking forward to the Kirtan Melas next Saturday as well, I think. And then May Bank holiday weekend. And then the 11th of May is Nasimha Chaturdasi. And we're going to be giving out Bhakti Step certificates for that as well. So if you're leading a Sangha and would like to have certificates for your attendees for completion of the Bhakti Steps or Bhakti Riksha modules, reach out, just let us know and we can make sure we can have certificates there for your Sanghas as well. So that's on the 11th of May, that's Sunday, at Spencer's Wood Village Hall from 5 o'clock. So that's all the announcements. Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Okay. From my side, Srimad Bhagvatam ki jai, Bhaktarath Prahlad Maharaj ki jai, Vasundev Bhagwan ki jai, Vanchakapatar Vyasak, Vasundev Vacha, Patitanam Pavanam Vishnebhyo Namo, Anantokoti Vaishnava ki jai. Quite less number of devotees here. Have they gone on a holiday or south fishing by any chance? Gone south fishing? No one. You can see around 20 devotees here. But anyway, that's fine. All right. We'll see you soon. Hare Krishna.
His Grace Shri Gauranga Prabhu ki
Prabhupada.